the women I draw in these different ways, I think of them as like magical in some way. And so all the mediums help me exaggerate it to the level I need it. Like I'm trying to show that, yes, this is impossible. Because some people are fixated on what's possible. Oh, anatomically, you can't do that. That's you. What's the meme say? Okay, that's you.
But we talking about Tara today,
Yeah.
y'all.
Yeah.
Wow.
So whatever it takes to get the message out.
Artists, creatives, and designers. I'm your host, Electra, and welcome to DreamAloud Art, where we have educating, inspiring, and motivating conversations with creatives from around the world. Show some love and support by subscribing, liking this video, and uplift another creative by sharing this video. Let's tune in to another amazing conversation. Let's go. Artists, creatives, and designers, welcome to DreamAloud Art on YouTube. It's your girl, Electra, aka Dream, and we have a very special guest today. I'm excited for this chat, for one, because I have browsed her Instagram and her webpage, and I have so many questions. So we have the one and only Tara Rocker Bates. Now, Tara is a creative in many ways. So she's an artist, she's an author. We got to get into this. She's an author and she's also a mental health worker. And she's also noting that she is a Libra. Shout out to the Libras. That would be me too. But me too. Sign me up. But that also allows her to balance the roles, and her overall goal is providing positive images of Black people. So let's do it. Let's dive in. So Tara, tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, and a little bit of your upbringing into being a very creative person.
So I am, again, Tara Rocker Bates. I am from the Bay Area. I grew up in Bay Point. Back when I grew up, it was West Pittsburgh. And now and now it has a more gentrified name. And so it's Bay Point. I grew up with a creative mother. My mother was very creative. She has since passed away, but she was very creative in many ways. She could sew. She had some of her artwork on the wall. And a very encouraging dad,
so important.
When this peaked, I had the support, support that I needed with it. I also have a very Southern influence on my upbringing. Both of my parents are from the South. I did some growing up there as well. Went every year, actually went to school for a minute there, Alabama.
The South would be where? Let me insert real quick. South is considered where for you?
Alabama. So the southernmost part, the deep South.
Okay. Now I'm on. Okay, got it.
Yeah, and I'll go ahead and represent us. We are from Choctaw Bluff, Alabama.
Okay.
So put that on.
Throw it up.
On the map.
Throw it up.
Yeah. So I have this interesting mix of influence and discipline. And I'm a little eclectic compared to everyone else, but at the same time, I think everyone's so used to me being like, that's just Tara,
Right.
Yeah.
I already know. I'm right here with you. Yeah, that's very cool.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So yeah, thank you for sharing that. So as you had mentioned about your family kind of embracing and understanding your need for expression and creativity, what were some of the first, or maybe the first area where you actually started to physically engage in creative activities?
So I will add that I kind of had like a real low baseline self-esteem. And I wasn't sure, about what my abilities were in general, that teenage thing of not feeling like you're good at anything. And I took art because I love the concepts. Like I used to watch other people draw and I thought, wow, they really know how to draw. I wish I could do that, blah, blah, blah. And I think it was like art over like home ec or something that's just not me. Um,
Yeah,
only
home
solely
ec,
part of
different
home ec
different
is me.
category.
The rest, yeah. So I don't know what it was, but I chose art and I was very nervous and I went into it. And what happened is the very first project was just to draw something, draw another picture, someone else's work.
Okay.
And I chose to draw this little boy with a lamb.
Mm.
And it was a I don't know, of Euro descent boy. I don't know, right? Holding a
Sure.
lamb.
Sure.
And I had already planned out, I was like, okay, I'm gonna paint him brown. I'm gonna do this, and he's gonna be brown, and we're gonna have this lamb because we hold sheep too. And I
Yeah,
guess
yeah, I see it.
right. So
Coming
I
out.
drew it. It was on this circle because it was supposed to function as something else. So I was drawing it as an ornament with the boy and the lamb on it. And I did it, and I just amazed myself is what happened. And this does not happen every time I draw, but I drew this and I just took myself by surprise with it. And I was like,
Ooh, don't you love those
everyone was
moments?
like, yeah, everyone was like, you drew that? You drew that? And I was
I
like,
love it. I love it.
yeah, it was like, yeah, I did. Oh my God, and for a minute it was like, do I tell people? Because it was like, is this a one-time only thing? Am I gonna be able to do this again? And
yeah.
and then I did. And it was just
Wow.
like, oh my God, I love this. And it just started there. And that was 7th grade. And it was also a very tumultuous time in my life in general. We were going through some things, and I actually was living with my grandmother, and I needed something, and it's like that just appeared for me. And then what really helped it flourish is they always say, if you have that one person, just one person that believes in you and gives you something. And so my art teacher,
all it takes is
right,
one.
For 8th grade, she's like, I'm not supposed to do it. It was so funny. She's like, come and see me. And I was like, what's happening? It was like the end of the year, and I came, and she had this package for me, and she said, don't open it here. I'm not really supposed to do it. Just open it at home. It had an encouraging note, about believing in me, keep at this. This is, your thing. And I was really surprised because I kind of fluctuated behaviorally between being very studious and into my work. But when I stepped out the class, the code switch wasn't just in language, it was in behavior as a survival.
Got it.
So, so it was like that. And anyway, when I opened it, she gave me everything. I had paint, I had watercolor paint, acrylics paint, markers, all of the graphic pencils, paper, just all this stuff.
Oh, she really, she definitely saw so much more.
And that notebook, I didn't let it leave my side. That my first sketchbook, I didn't let that thing leave my side. It went everywhere with me, and I drew everything that I thought maybe I could draw this.
and you gave it a shot. Why not?
I did, yeah. And never turned back. Never turned back. When that sketchbook ran out, I got another one. When those markers didn't work anymore, or I found better ones, I got them. And it's just been my habit since 7th grade.
Ever since. Oh my goodness, that's powerful. And I love how you definitely highlighted having encouragement and having someone who believes in you, so you could push forth and continue to be a creative. And this is something I speak about on my platforms, is artist confidence. And that's so critical. It's like, it doesn't matter, or let me be gentle. I can teach on a lot of different things, but the foundation of who you are and actually knowing and valuing who you are and having a healthy sense of self-worth, that's got to be strong. That's got to be strong, so otherwise all these other actions, it might be futile. It just might not carry as much or go as far because of your idea of your own self-worth. So what are perhaps some words of encouragement that you can give to artists who are like in this place where they're not even really sure what they're supposed to do with a gift that they have. And maybe that's because of all the doubt or all the stories they tell themselves about what people are going to think simply because they want to express themselves. And this is a huge thing that's going on with a lot of creatives. So what are your, perhaps words of encouragement for them?
First, trust yourself. Trust yourself and that ability, because you're more aware of it than anyone else. Like, we are the first ones to know about these abilities, and then we overcome the obstacle of presenting it to other people. So remember the confidence you had when you went into it and carry it outward. Trust that process, trusting yourself,
That's
not
right.
the opinions of other people initially.
That's big. That's good. That's good. And thank you so much for sharing that. Okay. So when I'm looking this way, I always have my phone. I always have my phone right here because I'm pulling up your Instagram. Oh, shout out to you, mother of two. Okay. I didn't read all the detail, mother of two. But browsing your page, we see multiple ways that you express yourself, and which I absolutely love that. And I want to start with the, or kind of segue into you being an author. And how exactly did that come into play from when you were putting, perhaps, because I don't know all the details that fill in all the years, but how did that transpire from being a visual artist into being an author? How did that happen?
So I was very bookish, as they say.
I love that. I don't even think I've ever heard bookish. Okay. Yeah, I'm with it.
I'm very much into reading. Very much. Before
that's so
art
good.
was my escape, reading was. Just a whole new world, and I love information. And in a way, it really supplemented my education, because what they wouldn't tell me, I was able to find out in a book. Like, I learned way too much in a book and not for people.
Oh, right. I love how you said that, though. Let me just plug that in. I love how you said that. What they wouldn't tell you is what you could find in a book.
Yeah.
Somebody needed to hear that. That's a strong gem. Maybe it was me. Maybe I needed to hear that, but that's a strong gem right there. It's so simply said, but it's a reminder of taking your own efforts to read and learn and not wholeheartedly relying on an individual. There's information out there. Love that. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So
good.
I just read and read and read everything. And so I love books. And I thought, I was like, I want to do this. And I don't know if it's okay to give that plug, especially with the movie coming out. It's coming out in April. Are you there, God? It's me, Margaret, Judy Blume. So I got to give it to Judy. I got to give it to Judy. Judy was like my paper mom when we needed a book, because, in the 80s, 90s, we didn't have, we weren't being blown up. The Black authors, it took me a minute to find us. I had to find, I had to learn to seek out.
So true.
Because I know we have these stories too, but since I didn't have that, I did have Judy Blume. And that was my biggest inspiration to like write something that people enjoy. But it wasn't just her, it was also the morning comics, because I illustrated my books. So the art and the reading are joined in that way. The Sunday morning comics.
I love that.
Oh my goodness. I was like,
I love that.
I want to create stories with pictures. I want to do this. Remember, it would be in color on Sunday and you could see it. And then the Boondocks came.
Look, come on now.
and what was funny is my mom, she knew. So we both would like, what the Boondocks say? Or, like we were just like check this out.
Oh my
Like
goodness.
this isn't just a character in like Peanuts. I love Peanuts. And they had a
Yes.
few characters, but this isn't just a character. This
Mm,
is the whole shebang. And
mm.
so
That's so good.
definitely after the Boondocks came out, I was like, oh, I'm gonna do this in some way or form. I might
I
not
love that.
talk about, you know,
The
controversial
the
things
same
or
things they
whatever.
do. Yes,
Yeah,
correct.
because I
Correct.
love to laugh. So I
Hmm.
wanted to create something. I wanted other kids to laugh the way I laughed at books. Like I
Mm,
would kind of get those jokes that not everyone got right away. Like I
right.
feel like I got Eeyore really early. Like Eeyore, I was like, I'm there with you, man.
Stop.
I totally.
I feel like that could be a whole nother conversation
It
by
is.
itself.
It is.
That is
It
funny.
is.
That's, oh my gosh.
Save that
Okay.
for the mental health part. No, but yeah, that was it. But yes, and so those type of things inspired me.
Right.
I really wanted to do it. And what happened with my books is the pictures came first.
Mm, mm.
And I wove the pictures into the stories that they
Story.
are. And then my favorite thing
Mm.
to share is it came from my comparison is always when I present my author's story is, the song where I can't think of is it I Won't Complain? Where, I've had my share of
Oh,
good days
okay.
and
I think
bad
it
days.
is. I think it is. I think it is. I
Yeah.
won't complain. Yeah.
And what it is me pulling out the good days,
Mm,
that good, that joy,
mm.
finding where was the most joy experience and using that as the foundation to my stories
Got
and
you.
where they come from.
That's good. Oh, that's good. I'm intrigued. Like, okay, I feel like I could segue into that's something that I have to work on as an interviewer because I want to segue and like keep asking like even more intricate questions for things that you just mentioned. But that's so good. So necessary too. So once again, pulling up your IG. I don't know. IG is like it's my reference point for everyone. I'm almost
Yeah.
challenged when I don't have an IG from an artist when they submit something and I'm just like, you don't have an Instagram? Okay, I'll deal with it. That's all right. um, and okay, so where exactly, if you can go ahead and give us a quick plug, where can we support you for your books?
So they have a little area on my Artsy Tara page,
On your
artsytara1.com. But
Instagram.
yeah,
Okay.
on Instagram, there's a link tree. And so there's Art by Tara Rocker. I show up there. There you can purchase there. And that's another website. It's artbytararocker.com. And then you can contact me directly. I still do that. I still do direct sales. So if you DM and you want to like get a bulk, you want to buy more
Right.
than just a few, definitely message me to arrange that because I don't have that set up on my website where you can buy bulk like that. You do
Okay.
need to,
Just
I like to
individual
work with
ones.
them. Yeah, yeah. But if you're buying like 5, you could do that online. If you're buying all 4, you could buy it online. You could buy it on artsytara.com or Art by Tara Rocker. If you really, I know people have a hunger for legitimacy through Amazon. You can purchase 2 of them on Amazon.
Yeah,
And
understood.
barnesandnobles.com.
it's it
Yeah,
is
you
a
know what I
it
mean? Like,
Oh, I know what you mean. I definitely know what you mean because I'm an author too. So I know sometimes for people like they got to see it on Amazon. Like Amazon is,
yeah.
but yes, I definitely appreciate that information. And of course, y'all be sure to click on the links that we're going to provide on this interview in the description, and we'll make it really easy for y'all. We'll make it super easy for sure. So what are some of your current projects that you're working on now, Tara?
So I'm not working on anything with the books right
Okay.
now.
Okay.
I'm on a book break. I just republished a book that I had wrote in 2018. I wasn't happy with the illustrations. It was early in my learning how to use computer
Okay.
graphics.
Mm-hmm.
So I said I'm redoing this because I'm better than this.
Right.
Even though what's funny is it's my bestseller. that I feel this way about. And I was
Mm.
like, okay, I need to see it too. So I
Yeah,
redid it. And that just finished in July. So that's Snook's cool idea for a hot day. So the books, I'm
I
settled
love
for
the
that
title.
right now. Oh, thank you.
I love the
Snook was
title.
my nickname as a
Mm,
kid.
okay. We're learning
Yeah.
more. Nice. Oh,
Yeah.
I'm jotting that down. Snook. Okay, Snook. So let's learn a little bit more about the Snook. What
Okay.
why was that your nickname?
I don't know. My
Okay.
dad, it's like you're so young, and I just, he'd just be like, Snoop, he'd come in and just, Snoop, Snoop, I have no idea. I have no idea, but I remember it never bothered me though. You know how
Right.
sometimes you'd be like, "Don't call me that." He called me Snook, and my mom called me Beanie. So I don't. Yeah,
That's cute.
Beanie. Yeah.
That's cute. But you know what? And that's comedy. I was really laughing when you had said that you don't know, like you don't even know. Because I have, which I won't even mention here because that could be a whole nother discussion, but I have nicknames that my mom would call me, and they're simply sounds. Like, it's not even like Snook. It's like, it's like a what is it? I don't, so those are
Yeah.
like, it's just like a sound. It doesn't even have any, which is okay. It doesn't have any kind of like definition, like it's supposed to mean something, but it was definitely
Right.
something that sounded more of like a sound effect. Like
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's
I
what I
love
think because
that.
I nicked mine sound effect. My kids' nicknames are sound boop
Just got,
and toot.
yeah,
Like those are
see?
sounds. One he just always bumped his head and he became boop, but like he was always bumping it. And I was like, oh boop, and then I just started calling him boop. Because I'd
Right.
say it when he'd hit his head. I'd say, oh boop, so he wouldn't be so upset.
Right,
And then it
right.
became his nickname. But for me, I don't know where my dad got that from, but lots of people heard it. So,
Nice.
lots of people were aware that that was my nickname. And I just rolled
Interesting.
with it because I was like, I don't know what a snook is, but it's me.
It's all good.
So,
Right. You know to
yeah,
respond when you hear that, that's you. Yeah. That's
yeah.
awesome. I love that. So, and this, of course, is branching from what you had just shared about the title of your book. I want to connect that to the inspiration for your artwork. Where
Okay.
exactly does that come from? And how does it manifest?
So I'm one of those feelings artists. So it could be something that's going on in the world.
Mm,
I One of my collections was, when America decided to take notice of police brutality. I think it's important to say it that way.
yes, absolutely.
Um, when they decided to pay attention, and unfortunately with George Floyd, and it got ridiculous, it was like an activist collection.
Mm,
And some of the
mm,
things I portrayed then were I have one painting, I didn't bring it into the office, but I have one where it's like a warrior woman,
mm,
and you have to really look close. She's got her baby on her back, and it can appropriately be assumed to be a son. And he's
mm.
strapped to her back, and arrows are coming at her from behind where he is. And there's a man, presumably her mate and the father of this child,
Got you.
in the water. And from the water, there's a prison,
Mm,
and there's someone in the window. So there's all these concepts. It's
goodness.
this concept of this this mother, this woman is out here fighting for both. She has a shield
Mm,
to block the
mm,
arrows from the baby, and she's holding the shield up, and she has her sword at her side, and she has, her hand, and she has
right.
a rope in hand extended to help this
Mm,
brother who's drowning in these waves. She's pulling him out the water. She's standing on a rock.
my gosh.
And so that's how my thought process is. It's like the concepts that come to me. I drew, that collection has a family, and I put
Oh, really?
I didn't do African American. I changed it, and I can't think of my own work, and I can't think of it.
That's
But
that's okay. Yeah.
yeah, but just a lot of
Oh.
promotion of we love, we care for our own. These stereotypes are not who we
Hmm.
are. We are human,
Mm.
and just wanting to convey the Black experience. And that, so I have a collection that way. And then sometimes it's just whatever inspires me. I like flowers, so flowers show up a lot. My mom was a gardener. I'm a gardener.
Ah.
So
Mm, mm,
yeah,
mm.
so
I like
flowers
flowers
show up a
too.
lot.
I like flowers
Okay.
too. Flowers are
Yeah.
my favorite. My right. Flowers are my favorite subject. So I just wanted to connect with you on that. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's whatever's moving me. Whatever's moving me when I get out there. Sometimes it's just flashes, like
Mm,
it'll
you
just come
tell.
to me. Yeah, so like, did I bring her? Yeah, I did. So it's also a medium rule. It's a medium inspiration too. So I get in moods. So like, let me see if I can get her in here.
Yes.
I am in a
Wow.
I am in a charcoal pastel mood right now, phase. And
Oh
so,
boy, I better listen up because
oh,
someone was suggesting that I give pastels a shot, but I'm one of those people, I'll just say, that's like, oh, my hands are going to get dusty. I don't know. Or maybe I could just put some gloves
gloves.
on.
Yes,
Call it a
I'm
day.
like gloves,
Yeah.
gloves, gloves.
That's me trying to
But
find
sometimes I don't want
reasons.
gloves.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say sometimes I don't want. Sometimes I want to be in the muck. Sometimes I have that need to
Mm.
be in literal touch with what I'm working on. So
Mm.
I could be painting with the brushes, but I got to do a little blending with my finger. And it's like
Mm.
I have to have it on me. My everything's
Got
a
it.
met. I have an art coat and everything is just because I was just messing clothes up. Because I'm the type that I will. Yeah, I'll have the brush and I'll dip it in
Yeah.
water and dry it on me,
Got you. Right.
without
Right.
even. Right.
Oh my
So with
goodness.
pastels, what I love is that it's something I can manipulate without a lot of tools.
Hmm. Okay.
I do smudge. I have lots of smudge sticks, and anytime I find a way to smudge that works, I do. But yeah, so I work in phases. Acrylic is always present. That is acrylic, charcoal, and pastel.
Oh,
Because I love how
I'm taking
pastel and
notes.
acrylic marry. Yes,
Mhm.
because if you are starting with pastels marry with dry acrylic better than you would think. And by marry, I mean that the chalk pastel, it never that chalky feeling you want, that
Yes.
soft look, it takes over the acrylic.
Really?
It'll stay so like
Oh, that's intriguing.
um so
It
there's
turns out
acrylic.
beautifully, I must say.
Yeah, this is an
Gorgeous.
acrylic base. The first layer is acrylic. And then I put
Oh,
this, yeah. And so
hmm.
on top of it is the charcoal and the pastel. And like when you get into it a day later, you can still draw, but you can blend. It blends in. Or you could
Ooh,
go on top of the pastel with the acrylic as well. And again, you don't lose the pastel look.
got you.
uh, yeah,
Oh,
it's stronger than the acrylic, and I just think because it's more texture, more
mm.
substance. So yeah, I'm just they're my two favorites, acrylic and charcoal and pastel. I love smudging. Some of my first works were just graphite and charcoal.
My gosh, look at you. You're medium brave. Like, or no, you're brave with mediums. Let me say that, because if I say medium brave, it sounds like you're like not fully brave. You're like in between. No, no. So you definitely are, because I mean, sometimes I mean, I've talked to thousands of artists, and sometimes it's almost on or only on two ends of a spectrum, where they are very indecisive of staying consistent with a medium. And so they just experiment, which is fine. I mean, no problem, no judgment. I love that. But then on the other end of the spectrum where they're just scared to even start something, like where it's like, I don't even know what I'm trying to do here. And if I start something, then that means that I have to stick with it forever and ever. Amen. So what kind of feedback can you give artists who feel that way about, this is what I've been doing and I want to stay doing this one medium for the long run? They may be doing that now, but they're curious about exploring. How can you provide some insight where they can just relax some of these thoughts and give themselves permission?
Start with that. Give yourself permission to get a canvas or whatever you're going to use and just do it. No one sees what you're experimenting with at home. No one sees that.
That's it. That's big. That's big. You said that because someone needed to hear that for sure. Yeah. You're not posting it all over IG, but right.
And don't if you're not that, right?
Yeah.
That's not what you're going to share when you post. No one sees it. So go with that experiment, but think about how that new medium that you want to try and you're apprehensive. Think about how, marry. How does it marry with your style? How does it marry with your medium? And, how are you going to incorporate it? I would suggest, even play with the frame. The way this recent stage of acrylic and pastel, combining it, I started with just doing the frame in acrylic. And then I said, so I could see how it looks. How does this look together? The frame, I like bold. So I said, this acrylic frame on this pastel picture is going to be bold because the acrylic comes with a different shine.
Wow.
But you want your frame to shine. So that's what you want to look for. What is this element? When I started incorporating silver leaf and gold leaf, her earring is silver leaf. What do I want it to do? Well, earrings shine. I want it to shine. Sisters, we like our hoops. I want this hoop to stand out.
Bling and shine nicely.
Yeah.
Yes.
So think of what you're doing with it. It doesn't have to play the leading role in the scene of your picture. It just needs to play a role. So decide the role that medium is going to play in your style.
That's good. I have to give this plug from the heart. I love how clearly you can communicate, first of all, the story behind your work. Okay. Because this is something that I work one-on-one and I give artist consultations on how an artist can communicate their story. They're creating it, but then they don't know how to verbalize it or how to write about it or type about that part they haven't quite done yet. So I love how it just it's very natural for you. It flows very well for you. But I want to theorize in saying this too. I feel like it's easy for you to communicate because you're actually creating work that you truly want to create. There's meaning behind it. There's a story behind it. And I feel that hiccup that artists have is that it's the work they have created could possibly be too surface. And they haven't quite, there's not much depth. There's not much that they're really trying to say here. And that can happen a lot when artists are doing something that's just trending and there's no depth. And so they're like, well, I don't know. It just looked kind of cool. And that would be the reason why. It's it just seemed like a cool thing to do. And so, yeah, but I absolutely love how it just flows. It's so easy for you to communicate everything, everything that comes with your work. So shout out to you. It's good. It's good stuff. I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying the conversation. I want to rewind a little bit because you're mentioning some things, and I was jotting down the multiple mediums they're working with. Did you have any formal education with art? I'm gonna let you go ahead. Look like you're about to go ahead and respond.
No,
Oh, okay. Well,
With my
did you
tongue.
have any formal education or training, or did you take a particular class? Again, I'm thinking of so many conversations and so many questions that artists have asked me. And if you had the formal education, what did that look like into what you do now? And if you didn't have the formal education, how did you get to the point you're at?
I didn't have a full formal education. What I did was a
Okay.
class here and a class there
Got you.
type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And what it was the school of life. Well, like where I just
I'm
kept
with
at
you.
it right this whole time. So that's how I figured out some things, but also research. And shout out to YouTube,
Yes.
right?
YouTube University is what, what people say.
Yes, like
Sign me
oh my
up. Yep.
yes. So it has really been, a willingness to learn from others. So anytime someone's showing a how to,
Mm-hmm.
and they're showing something like shadows or something that, I don't do a lot of, I'm willing to learn. And that's how it
Yes.
happened. I did, take the I my goal in college was to minor in art, and I just didn't pursue the application
All
for that to
good.
be on my degree.
And
I
here we are
took just
today.
enough. Yeah, yeah.
And we're
So I
good.
took exactly, but I didn't want the art history because and I didn't want the structure of the classroom because you do a lot of drawing something that has no meaning for you and it's just an assignment.
So
And even
true.
when they make it sound like you can pick a subject of your own, you're not really, because you have to conceptualize it according to the assignment.
That
And
is
that's what I
correct.
didn't like about school
Yeah.
because I feel like the people they taught us about weren't doing that.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what I mean?
Oh,
Like
I do.
Van Gogh was mentally ill. He was not.
I, I'm right here
No
with
one was
you.
telling him what to do, right? And then
Come on,
Salvador
Tara,
Dali.
speak.
Right. Salvador Dali, again, struggling with mental illness.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody was they were saying stuff. The whole point of Salvador Dali, and this is why he was my inspiration young, is people were trying to tell him he can't do what he was doing.
Mm.
And he was like,
What you mean? Like,
clearly,
what you mean?
right. He clearly did not cater to this conceptualization that there's these rules to art and what you
Mm-hmm.
create, but art is life and it can't be life if you're asking it to mimic like the past. Like
Yeah.
life is current.
Mm-hmm.
The life is what's happening now.
Your experience
And
right now.
so
Absolutely.
right. So if I'm constantly doing these assignments,
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't find myself that way. And what
Mm.
I do is redo class assignments.
Mm.
When it was over, I'd get it, paint over whatever aspects of it were a part of the assignment and put in me. So as long, if they gave it
Why are
back
you
to me,
so deep? That's a lot. That's a lot. I've never
a
heard
little
of anyone doing it that
oppositional.
way. That's good. That's good. Man.
Yeah.
Well, okay. All right. I'm trying to calm down. I have to, I'm telling you, I have to like regroup when I have these conversations. Like, okay, all right. I'm not going to completely segue, but that's good. So yeah, someone definitely needed to hear that. So, having to do with multiple mediums, like how did you, now maybe this is just me, maybe I need to step into what every other artist knows out here, but when you shared that about your masterpiece that you showed us that had acrylic paint and also pastels, like how did you come across or get to this conclusion where you're like, okay, I'm going to try this? Is this something that you saw someone do and you're like, okay, well, let me see if that's fitting for me, because in my head, I'm thinking like, say what? Like, combine those two. And I don't know if you said that you combine charcoal also, or you said that you were working with charcoal, but was it a
It's
combination of
there too.
all three?
Yep.
Okay. Like how did you come to this conclusion and actually try that out?
So it's the color. It's what I want the colors to do. So I'm one of these people where I'm a knockoff craft store when you go into my art area.
Okay.
And so I have just about everything.
I
And
love it.
what
Me
I
too.
do is say, what is best going to convey the emotion of this picture? I wanted the one I showed to be soft, um,
Mm.
bold in some places, but soft overall. It's just a woman reading a book she's at a windowsill.
Mm.
And how can I need a bright white. What's going to give me the brightest white? Am I going to have
Right.
to stick to acrylic? How am I going to get that going? What's going to give me the blackest black? Or, this is how I
Mm.
think. I think about the
Mm.
depth of the color that I want. If I'm trying to go bright, I'm going to choose tools that are going to give me bright. But in this marrying, that just came from what'll happen if I do this. What
Got
happens?
you.
I accidentally found out that they're okay in another picture where it wasn't bright enough. And so I
Mm.
added acrylic. And when I
Mm.
added the acrylic, it was the proper vividness. And so I was like, oh, that works. It was an accident. I just was
A happy
correcting
one.
something. I was covering something up.
Oh,
And when it covered, I saw what it did, and I said, it was like one of those
yeah.
things where I
Oh,
was
it's a big
like,
aha moment. I
yes, it was.
understand.
And I
Oh,
and I knew that, so I said, I want to intentionally do this. And it took a while since that accident. I mean, that was like years ago. And then
right.
this with this picture, I just said, I'm gonna do it on purpose and see what this looks like.
Mm.
I mean, what's the worst that could happen? There's
Yeah,
gonna be people who like it and people who don't, right? We're not
absolutely.
worried about the people who don't. So are we?
You
No,
can't.
look,
You can't. Can you say
right,
that
right,
again? Can you say that again for those that were trying to work two devices and not paying attention? Can you say that
right.
one more
We're not
time?
worried. We're not worried about the people who don't like it. And then add in the are we?
I'm
No.
telling you, that was gold. I'm glad that well, thank you, of course, for sharing that about how you came to the conclusion and
Yeah.
leaning further into combining those mediums. But this is what I'm saying. I'm cheering that on about not you can't focus on being liked and always being, appeasing the general people. Like who exactly are we trying to please out here? And that's why it's so critical for you to do exactly what you are trying to do. Like whatever you're trying to express, like just get that out, get it out, manifest that, instead of saying, okay, as I mentioned earlier, what's trending? Like what's trending out here? Like what's everybody else doing? Because that is exactly that. It's a trend. It's gonna change. It's going to, it's not solid. So yeah, you got me started here. I'm trying not look. I'm starting to perspire here. Ooh, I need a fan because that's my subject. I'm telling you, like,
Yeah.
just do what you've been called to do. Period. And
Yeah, I
like,
trends don't work for me. I often go against the grain. I like the only trend I hop on is mermaids, and that's because I
okay,
actually like them.
you like
So
I like mermaids
yeah,
too.
mermaid for me is because I actually like the once I heard more of the African versions, once
Mm.
I got away from I mean, now we could look at Ariel because come through. Is it Chloe?
Yes,
But
yes,
yes,
yes.
but before that, it wasn't about Disney. It was about these are some straight savage, like a mermaid, like the real story. Like she is a beast, like
Oh,
legit,
that's what you're
right?
talking about.
Yes. Yes, a
Mm.
real mermaid, a real like our folklore, African folklore, and you'll hear a lot of people from the islands talking about it too. The way we share the story of mermaids, it's more the mythical aspect. I am a fantasy person. I love sci-fi. I love fantasy.
Yes.
Shout out to Octavia Butler. But that's
Okay.
me. Like that's my level of imagination. And
Yeah.
so magical being? Yes, I will. Like
Yes.
it's a lot of what I
Sign
draw.
me up.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think of a lot of the women I draw in these different ways. I
Mm.
think of them as like magical in some way. And so
Mm.
all the mediums help me exaggerate it to the level I need it. Like I'm trying to show that, yes, this is impossible.
Mm.
Because some
Mm.
people are fixated on what's possible. Oh, anatomically, you can't do that. That's you. What's the meme say? Okay, that's
But we
you.
talking
But for
about
me,
Tara today,
yeah,
y'all. What?
yeah. So
Wow.
whatever it takes to get the message out and praying that whoever's looking at it sees it because it's not just for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. My gosh. I'm actually tallying at what points in our conversation you drop some gems. And like you like so far we're at like 8. And I'm sure it's more because I was trying to like pay attention at the same time. I was like, I gotta jot that down. I'm jotting that. That's a tally there. Taking a tally of these gems, Tara. My gosh. Okay, so is there actually, you know what? I think I'm going to lean into because there's so much more. I'm just going to give my own shout out. Of course, y'all, again, Tara's links are in the description, but a big shout out, y'all, make sure that you follow her. Bam, you follow her on Instagram because yeah, and I'm going to, matter of fact, yeah, let me go ahead and hit my follow button, make that
Thank
official.
you.
But there's so much to explore, y'all. There's so much to dive into. And if Tara, you had actually mentioned earlier, like you're still open as far as communicating with potential supporters and customers about selling your book and things like that. So I'm sure it's a-okay with you if someone reaches out to you on Instagram and sends you a message or something, even just to show some love for what you represent. Yeah, there's so much more. I want to, okay, let me pause because I'm about to segue into the word game, but I would like for you to give us a little bit of context about being a mental health worker.
Okay.
That's very important. And of course, we dive further into your creativity and your history, but what can you share with us about being a mental health worker and how that's important to you?
So it's important to me because it's one of those things I do because it wasn't done for me.
Mm.
I never even knew kids go to therapy. I typically work with youth,
Mm.
and I never even knew that like I could have went to therapy when we went through our rough patch.
Gotcha.
I don't remember if it was offered. I was really ornery. I might have declined not knowing, but
Mm.
now when I work with youth, I don't really feel like people are giving them this window to decline, right?
Right.
And it's with good
That's
reason.
important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but at the same time, I'm like, I want to give what I didn't get. So I am, along with this, I have a master's of social work. I am
Mm.
currently working on my licensure
Mm.
for therapy. I will be focused on what's called transitional age youth. So that 16 to 25 years old when the
Mm.
struggle is real.
Mm.
That's my favorite.
Oh, that's good.
Um, and so that's what it is. It's just providing, people just need someone they can bounce stuff off of and get
Mm-hmm.
off of themselves.
Open
And
up to.
that
Yes.
non-bias, here's the key, that non-biased
Yeah.
perspective where I'm not saying, girl, you should do that. I'm not
Yeah.
jumping on
Yeah.
the boat of either side of it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying, wait, what about you
Yeah.
in what you're doing? How does this help you? What are
Mm.
you doing for you?
Mm.
And it being okay to say that to a young person who we all think, oh, they're so resilient. They are and they aren't.
Yeah.
And there needs to be somebody that really is like not just talking soft and saying stuff. It's my personality that I feel like is the tool in that.
Mm.
There's a gift in that, and I denied it for a really long time. And so I'm just
Mm.
recently picking it back up because anytime I talk to anyone, I am focused on them.
Oh,
and what they're giving me. Even more, I don't even care about what I give. I'm overly transparent sometimes.
right.
And it's because I'm like, never mind me, what? And
Yeah.
it's not on a T level. It's not tell me the T. It's like,
Sure.
are you okay?
Yeah.
Sometimes
Yeah.
people say stuff and I'm just not afraid to say, hey, that doesn't really sound okay. Are
Hmm.
you want me to feel like that's okay? What do you want me to do
Oh,
with
that's
what you
good.
just said?
That's good that you're
And
able to
so
do that.
yeah, that's what it is. It's just that
Yeah.
it's a good passion.
Mm.
I can incorporate it into the art. I definitely will be incorporating art and do incorporate art whenever I can.
Yes.
Like, oh, we don't have nothing to talk about. Oh, let's get it. We don't have nothing to talk about. Let's try this. And
Yeah.
and I just say, it doesn't have to. We're not doing anything specific.
Hmm.
I want you to just draw what comes to mind based on where you are mentally. And then we go
Absolutely.
from there. So that's what it is. That's what it is.
That's so good. And so necessary too. And, much respect to you being a mental health worker and having the passion that you have for that. And I feel like it's also important for some of our artists to hear, like, you don't have to, just as a creative being or someone who just wants to express themselves, you can express yourself in many different ways. And if you have a passion, like Tara has this passion for, helping those that need that mental health help, assistance overall, then lean into that passion too. I myself, as an artist, I used to, this is why I tell artists, you can be an artist and still be inside the box. Like you think that you're out of the box because you've now determined that you're an artist, but you still limited yourself because you're telling yourself your forms of expression or creativity are limited to this. Like you have to only do that. And so I really appreciate how you are leaning into something else you are passionate about, because that has to come out too. Like
Yeah.
it has to surface. And it takes someone with an extra level of care and a big heart to do what you're doing. So I definitely appreciate that. Shout out to you.
Thank you. Thank you.
So we're going to dive into a quick word game. And I absolutely love the word game. So I'll explain the rules. Okay. So it's very simple. I'm simply going to say a word and you say the first thing that comes to mind. And the first thing that comes to mind means you'll have like 2 seconds to
Okay.
respond. If you can't think of anything, it's all good. Like it's all good. This is clearly, sometimes when I play this game, artists get like triggered back to when they were in school and they're taking a test and they're like, oh my gosh, I don't know what to say. And it's like, you know what? It's all good. You don't even need an answer, right? But yeah, I'm going to give you 10 words. Okay. You ready? Got your thinking cap
Yeah.
on? Okay. Let's go. And it's actually, let me see. Maybe I think I'll get creative. I'm going to see if I can link my words to your interview today, based on some of the things that you shared. So, all right. First word is flower.
Beautiful.
Okay. Second word, health.
Care. Care.
Okay, I'm with it. Look, no right or wrong answer, but I love to laugh during this part. Okay, I said health, like care, healthcare. I love it. Okay, medium.
Art.
Okay, pastel.
Charcoal.
Oh, all right. Okay. I see the connection. Snook.
Me.
Okay.
Me.
All right. I'm with it. Activists.
Ooh, I guess prolific. I'll go with that.
Oh, what we got? Okay, yes, ma'am. I'm gonna give. Look, That deserves a bonus point. I'm going to start bonus points. That deserves a bonus point. Okay.
Squirrel. No, look, I don't know.
Yeah. I love it. Okay. Collection.
Story.
All right. Okay, I'm with that. You got 3 words. 3 words left. Gem.
Bling.
Bling. Okay. All right. I'm with it. Okay. Story.
I'm like, time.
Don't go down the rabbit hole, Tara. Don't do it.
Down there, I can't get out. Oh, story. Blessing. I don't know.
What did you said? Blessing?
Yeah. Maybe.
Okay. I'm with it. No. I'm reading your facial expressions like you're like, well, I hope this is a good one. Like I hope it makes sense.
Just throwing it out.
It is all good. You are hilarious. Okay, and the final word is Tara.
I don't know why journey.
Journey. I love that. That's solid. That's solid. That's all. Well, see, and what I love about this game is that you're referencing the first thing that comes to mind. And so I love how once I said your name, you're like, journey, like why is that? And maybe that's something, maybe it'll filter through and then you'll say, oh, that's why I said journey for that. Well, thank you so much for participating in my final word game, Tara. And also, do you have any shout outs that you want to give before we close out this awesome talk?
I think just shout out to my supporters, those day ones who have always, give me that like, that follow, that purchase,
yes,
that love. Just shout out to all that, my family, and everyone who's patient with the fact that I'm often not present because I'm in my studio.
Yeah, you're in mode. That's the mode.
But,
yeah.
but support is big, the free things, the things that cost nothing to do. Thank you for those things.
Shout out to all y'all who have been showing support to Tara. I appreciate you, because all of those things that you just mentioned, like a follow, or support in any other way, those are building blocks, one by one by one by one, so yeah, it is a journey, and it's a wonderful journey. So Tara, thank you so much for joining us today. And y'all, once again, click those links in the description, check Tara out, look her up, follow her, like, support in as many ways that you can. Okay, so peace y'all, take care. We're just gonna say bye to our viewers, and then we'll have a moment after this.
Thank you.
Y'all take care. Creatives, it has been both a pleasure and an honor to have you sit in on our conversation today. So will you be the next artist interviewed? Visit respecttheartist.com/artist-interviews to learn more. And hopefully I'll see you soon. RTA stands for Respect the Artist. Love y'all.